One of the advantages of being older is we have experience, and a lot of it, right? We have experience with careers, with relationships, with successes, with failures. And you'd think that would prepare us for just about anything. And yet, in the midst of making a transition, there's still lessons to be learned. And I'm going to share 3 of those today. The first is how to be a beginner again. Because by this stage in life, we've have experience. We've maybe been in the same career for a long time, at the same job, at the same work site, doing roughly the same thing, at least even in the same field. And so we have kind of a pretty good lay of the land, right? Well, what happens is when there's time for a change, we've got to learn again. And we need to be a beginner. And that can be a little bit bruising to the ego here and there. That could be a little bit of a challenge. And I can tell you from experience some of the things that I've run into and the challenges, not only in the actual facts of being a beginner, but how it can impact you, well, me in this case, and maybe you, emotionally, how that impact translates into how we feel. For example, I was a beginner at photography. Although I knew photography, portrait and corporate photography was a new beast that I had to learn. I had no experience in it at all. Marketing for photography, no experience at all. A new beast to learn. YouTube that I'm messing around with right now, a huge beast. Algorithms and thumbnails and hooks and ways of talking, how to set up the camera, I mean, just on and on and on. All of it being first knowledge from a beginner's standpoint and a beginner's perspective. And that was a bit of a surprise. And you have to be able to roll with that punch. If you're willing to start again, well, if you're desiring to start again, you have to be willing to be a beginner and learn with fresh eyes. And another one is learning how to publicly fail. Because you will. On anything. When we're learning any new skill, we're going to be challenged and we're going to fail. You're learning how to play a video game. You're going to get killed and have to respawn relatively soon as you're learning the game and learning the routines. Well, it's the same in any new adventure. I love to be, it is an adventure. Any new venture that we're pursuing. Such as with the photo business. My family, my friends, everybody knew, especially close people, that I was going to pursue a photo business and knew that I was hoping to swap the photo business with my therapy business. And yet those same people are going to watch me and have watched me fail. Whether it's a advertising campaign on Facebook that didn't go anywhere, whether it was going out to meet with networking contacts that never sent a referral, whether it was going to a photo shoot and coming home with pictures that were less than stellar. So there's so many places where we fail on a new venture, and we have to be willing to do that publicly. What I'm doing right now is a great example. Facebook, YouTube. There's many instances where I have failed. Put up a video that got no views or very few. Why? Because either my thumbnail wasn't good enough to attract people, people clicked on it, watched 10 seconds of the video, decided I was boring and moved on. Failure, failure, failure until you get it right, and it's in the public eye, whether they're your friends, your family, or the entire internet in this case. And you have to be okay with that. I'm sitting here talking about it. I've had to come to the realization that that is going to be the path forward until success starts to happen. And the hardest one kind of goes back to the first one we were talking about being a beginner again and having to learn things, except what I want to talk about this time is doing that without your ego. Because when we're competent at something, because we have experience with it, we feel good. We have a competence, we have confidence in ourselves, and our ego is sort of propped up by that. Well, when you're starting something fresh, you've got to learn and you got to put that ego aside. You have to realize that you can't just do it the same old way you've always done it. This learning might be different. This is where you have to be humble and maybe learn from peers who aren't really peers, because here I am 63 following the advice on YouTube with people that are 23 or 33, people significantly my junior, but yet I have to put that ego aside because in this realm, I don't know it all. I don't have competence. I don't have expertise. So I need to rely on people that normally I wouldn't have to rely on. In mental health, when I was a program manager of a particular program, we'd hire in a new therapist. I was their guide. I was their teacher. I knew what they needed to learn. Now, other people know what I need to learn, and that's where putting the ego aside can be really important. And along those lines is separating our self-worth, right? What we feel our value is to the world from our level of competence. Because when we're settled into something and we have competence, it's easy to mix the two together, and therefore we have value because we're competent, because we're good in something. And now we have to set that aside because we're not good at it, right? Whether it's photography or playing the piano or YouTube or any other endeavor somebody is taking on that's new and where we don't have skill, we can't allow that to sink in and make us feel poorly about ourselves, make us potentially lowering our self-esteem or our value because we don't have competence in something yet. And again, that's another ego thing, because the ego says, I'm good because I'm good at this. I have value because I'm good at this. Well, what happens when you don't have competence? You don't have skill. Well, there goes your value. And that's the challenge, is to not think that way and to realize being a beginner is okay. You still have value and you're still important and you still have something to contribute, even if it's not in this particular realm. That you can't tie your self-worth, you can't tie that value to your level of competence. And the big takeaway is, no matter how experienced we are, no matter how much knowledge we possess, there's always more knowledge to be learned, there's always more experience to be had, and that is part of the growth cycle of life. And sometimes these things are going to catch us by surprise and be a little more challenging than we might have anticipated. Go ahead and think back on your situation. If you've transitioned even from a regular job to another regular job in a different field, or you've transitioned professions entirely, what that was like for you, what the challenges were like, and how potentially you felt as a beginner, as somebody new starting something, and share in the comments. I'd love to hear. I promise I'll respond, and we can go ahead and build that community of people looking to make growth together.